Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and you will see today absolute beast of this Dimir deck with Raven Man, and you will also see a Raven that absolutely terrorized tier 1 decks, the most brave Raven you will ever see. And with that being said, let's go directly into games and have fun, guys. I hope you will like it. Let's see, this is a very important play, because it goes around our Raven Man. So, the point is, if you are on the play, right now you play Liliana and you clear the board and you are in absolutely amazing situation. If you are on the draw, I mean, good luck. We need a remover for this. I think I have a very weird idea. Let me think if it works. So I can attack with Raven Man, then he declares the block here, then I play Edict, and he either gets rid of this, or he gets rid of this and then it's 2-2 and it trades and he doesn't have a board. Alright, I think we can go for it. Let's see how it pans out. After so much thinking, yeah, I thought that he might not block, which is honestly not the worst for us, right? Because right now we can go with Kaito and start doing some cards. And hopefully we can hit Geeks command or something. Yeah, let's draw cards. We are very behind on tempo, so that's important. Fun fact, theoretically, playing Kaito and discarding card could be better for the tempo. We get one less card, but we get a free Raven. The problem is that we don't have battles or cannot threaten his life total, so no. We just probably want to hit what we want to hit. Geeks command, because it clears the board right now. So this is what I'm trying to dig for. And I still have another Raven Man, so you know, it's fine. Alright, a very bad land. You love to sit. How do you work? If a player discard. Alright, so I don't need to play it before. Let's see what will hit. That's a card. Oh, that's a card. But still, I think Raven Man into Edict is pretty good. Alright. You know what? No, let's do it now. Because he might forget about the Raven. So there is some information that he might be missing, I guess. You know, not the perfect, but we'll try. And now he doesn't have easy kill on Kaito, because if he double attacks, we trade here. And if, like, he needs to use one of the cards in the hand to amplify the battlefield. And then hopefully we can try to go Liliana. I think Sheoldred might be very strong. I know, crazy. But this might be our ace in the hole after he uses all of the removal. Yep. The Deadly Raven. It's a bird, but you know, it's just a raven. Like, he's a Raven Man. What type of bird he would create? Maybe a raven, or just a bird. Man, it bothers me right now. Why aren't you Raven? Why are you a bird? There's no justice in world. Right, Michael? Right, Goose? They all agree. Oh boy, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. Especially that we have one. Oh my god, this guy is so good at magic. So, game just got very spicy. Alright. Just casual trample into board clear, into insane scaling. But at least Kaito does the job and tries to amplify some damage. He's in full top deck mode, by the way. So I think this might be Liliana -1, right? Do we go Sheoldred? Because this potentially can be game winning. He doesn't have good attacks. He attacks with Naturalis and that's it. If he draws, I mean, what can you do? We can also go Liliana into go for the throat. Alright, I convinced myself. This seems better. Especially that he doesn't really want to, you know, lose too much value. So he probably will try to attack Liliana with as little as it gets. I peck you. Haha, only 27 turns to go. So we are basically winning right now. Like, I don't see any way for him to come back. Except, you know, this. Alright, I don't like it. We have shown that we have something. If we kill Naturalis, that's not perfect, because then he draws a card and he can play more. No blockers. Alright, he's going for it. He is going for it. I really don't want him to play cards, man. Not on this time. I cannot handle it. Like, I need a moment of break from his pressure. Moment. Man, not sure what's up with my voice, but sorry for that. So, we could Ertai Resurrected. If we kill this, he draws 2 cards. And we only discard 1. But at least we discard it, right? So this is the discard fodder. If we go for Weaver of Harmony, that is interesting, because then we can discard whatever he draws. But I think it's just too big of a card. It is what it is. Probably we will get only a land. And that's not exactly perfect, but what can you do?
You won't be outsmarted.
I mean, you cannot do the play. Scrap. So the other card, this is always something you can get information. If he has 2 cards, he discards this. This means that the second card is definitely better than the scrap. So you kinda have the idea what the card power level is. That's Did I do it wrong? No, I could not. I could not. Alright, alright. We just need Geeks command from top and all my misplays will be fine. Alright, 3 creatures, but all of them at 2 power. All I need, the only thing I need, is Geeks command. You know what? This does the trick. I think we won. I actually think we won. Alright, when did it die? On his turn. So he's not getting it back. And this is not an enchantment. I think we did it, boys. I think we actually did it.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Right? You die? Thank you. Told you, the Raven is still here. The Raven that isn't even a Raven. I think that they need to fix it. It needs to be patched. Our opponent just casually getting this from the top. If he draws like dock into something on the next turn, he will win with those two top decks. But hopefully he just draws a land, right? Like I just did. I'm sure it will be a land. Oh my god, it was a land! Oh my god, that's crazy. Alright, we are playing Liliana and trying to stack her for the ultimate or just a lot of removal. Man, it's so much damage, but the Raven, like, don't mind Sheoldred, like, she's doing some decent job, but the Raven is the real star, like, he's packing as much as he can. Alright, scary stuff. Scary stuff. Not anymore. Not anymore. So first, we go like this. Always try to force the decision when your opponent doesn't know what you have. And I mean, I will attack with everything. I think this is our winning play. We should pressure the life total as much as possible. He's not blocking, this is a correct decision. I mean, let's do the thing. Blue. Blue. A lot of pain. A lot of pain. And whatever. We pay 0. Here comes the Serpent, the only true Serpent of Magic. It would be a bit better earlier when he had the cards, but wow, those are some epic draws, man. Alright, I think we won with those 2 lands. Like, how can he beat it? It was so epic that you just draw 2 lands and it's like nothing. And it still works because we have at least a blocker. No, bro, 5-4, bigger than 3-3. A Ganjo? Scoop? Alright, I'll give you this. I actually didn't predict that. Yeah, that is the only card that makes sense. He also gets the Kami, right? So there's something. The problem is that he will die anyway. We could get rid of Kami, but why if we can just peck him to death? See? The Raven. From start to finish, pecking his way to victory. And let's go. This is a force block, by the way. And it's 6 damage. We play Sheoldred because we are very good at magic. What? Oh, it did not die. Right. The like mythic quality. As you can see, we beat another tier 1 deck with this one. But the true star is not the Serpent, not the Sheoldred. this is the unspoken hero of the full game. Like, he packs from start to finish, and as you can see, that was exactly fair, thanks to the Raven. Alright, going first. We have Make Disappear into Liliana. That's a pretty decent opening. Let's go with double shores in case we draw some, you know, the third one. Here's the Recruitment Officer. Not the worst. By being on the play, we're a really good player, which means that we can negate a lot of power from this board. That will get Made Disappeared. That will get Liliana, and then we can Ertai into Geek's command, so we should be pretty okay, I think. Depends how we draw, but so far so good. Like, we are doing exactly what the deck is aimed to do. And I like it. As long as I kill every creature my opponent plays, I'm always a happy person. I would love to take Earth. Oh, this will be pretty strong. This might be pretty strong, and we kinda want the land, I guess. How do you work? Destroy. So even if it doesn't die, he still draws a card. Alright, I think I know. That will hurt. I know. I absolutely know, man. It hurts us both. But we have a lot of lands in the deck, so we should draw one at some point. But what we really need is go for the throat on the Guardian. This way we can use Liliana and -2 if we really want. We need to do it now, otherwise he's already attacking. But the point is that this taps the creature, so it's indestructible but it still taps, which means it cannot attack on this turn. And he's down to... wow. Alright. Let's see. So we could sweep the board and get rid of the card. It will be costly though. It will be costly. But I think it's pretty okay. That's interesting, right? This is interesting. I still think it's Geek's command. So, first let's do this, and then he sacrifices. Because whatever he does, he, I think, loses everything, because Liliana has those different modes, and each mode will hit one of the options he has. So he will end with nothing, one way or the other. If he saves the Guardian from the destroy effect, he doesn't get the card. Honestly, I think that's the better deal, what he did. Because right now, if I want to discard, I need to get rid of my Ertai, and I don't want to. Especially that Liliana is a removal. And Ertai gives him the card, right? This is a good counter Liliana. Alright, so how do... oh boy, he won't like it. He absolutely won't like it. But you know what? I will like it quite a lot. Enjoy your card. I hope it's absolutely amazing, because you ain't... that was the intention of the deck, that's why Ertai is here. Look, you can fully negate, like, it's so fun when you give your opponent card, because you don't have targets for this card, and then you can just get rid of it. Alright, this is interesting. This will be a bit harsh. Let's go for Invasion of Amonkhet. That's a pretty good card. Let's see what we draw. Wow, we milled all of his veterans from the deck. I see. So, we have two ways to go around it. We can try it, like, he has no cards in the end. If we -2 Liliana, he can get Frontliner, sacrifice, but then Guardian has to trade for Ertai. But we are in full top deck mode. I'm not sure if I like it. And if he attacks with Frontliner, that's a hard one. The reason I went for this play is Scrying. Because if he enlists the Guardian, he can still do it, but only one time. And if we go like this, we might get some insane value. And if he wants to block, he has no cards, so the Guardian dies. Also, this cannot be buffed, so it's just 2 damage, or 3 damage with the counter. He should just go with this one, probably. And then he doesn't get the buff, but he gets the enlist. That's a decent draw for him. Definitely answers what we have. And basically our part of this plan. So pretty good draw for him, honestly. He's still not using this. I honestly would do it just for the enlist, because it means his next draw will be meaningful. Right now it doesn't have to be the case. So Raven Man is okay. It's the first piece of the puzzle, it's not doing much on its own, but if we can combine it with something, Guardian, whenever it gets, the indestructible thing, it's also a discard. So you would get the Raven. And one Raven will be enough to get rid of invasion. He's not doing it right. He would lose, I think, 1 damage, but he would scry too. It's absolutely worth it, man. And as you can see, that should be the game, because we can remove his last creature, we get the staff, and now we have a huge board dominance. And he cannot beat it, because with Invasion of Amonkhet we can get, I don't know what, but it will be super cool card. Oh boy, oh boy. We could actually go for Recruitment Officer, but we don't have white mana. Let's just go with Morel. I heard it's a good card. We don't have soldiers, but guess what? This one is a soldier, and it will create soldiers, and then we double our soldiers every turn. Our opponent is really good at magic, so he just top decks the answer, which is pretty impressive, honestly. I have to say, this is absolutely impressive. And it works even better because we don't have spells, which means that it will flip. However, at some point, possibly on the next turn, we will try to kill Brutal Qatar, so we will lose the Raven Man, unfortunately. He has no cards, so we cannot go for the thing. But if we can kill... So he needs a creature that gets sacrificed to Liliana. Or another Brutal Qatar, but that won't really do, because it's night time, so he cannot remove. Yeah, we still go for it. No questions asked. It's a good try. He needs a creature, and if he doesn't have it, I mean, this is what happened. Let's start with this one, right? I kill this, I get the cards, he discards, it's fine. I'm not sure what it is. It has to be a removal, right? Because land he would play and the creature he would play. Let's see, because we will in a second. We also get the Raven, and with that I'm pretty sure the game is fully over. Especially with Invasion of Amonkhet. Like, look at this crazy value, man. Absolutely crazy value. I could wait, but I can just discard with Raven Man, and this way I get extra draw that can be very, very good. Or, you know, a little bit measly, but it's fine. So let's get our first Raven, and it's scary, isn't it? If that doesn't make him scoop, I don't know what does. And Raven Man and Ravens are very good with invasions, because you don't need much damage to get the value. Like, even this is already meaningful. 4 turns and I get a free creature that can be a Raven Man again. And yep. So you can see the deck coming along. When you start making all those pieces together, suddenly there's so much value. And that was the idea, because Kaito benefits from anything, right? If your opponent, if you just attack with a 1/1, it's the same as 5/5. You still get the card. And because it cannot block, usually it's not as amazing, but here it just doesn't make any difference. Our opponent cannot attack yet. Don't forget he has a hidden soldier here. Let's try pecking a little bit. I could go for Samurai, but I like having a lot of loyalty, and I like getting cards, because one good draw can absolutely shift this game into our direction. Probably this is what's happening. So the game, I believe, is over since some time, but he's fighting. He will get 1 card. Let's check all the mana. We can actually go for double draw, but we don't have this card yet. Sure. Let's see. He won't be able to kill Kaito, so that's great. They need to be both 2/2. So I'm not using ability 2 times because I cannot discard his cards, and I'm not giving him any value. And that's why loyalty on Kaito is so great. Like, we can just take it on the next turn as well. We do not care. However, what we will do is play Mastermind and draw 2 cards while our opponent draws 1. Because every time we get a discard, like, he gets nothing. And let's go for it. This cannot hit artifacts, and he has some artifacts, so we'll go for the fraud. And as you can see, we just overwhelmed. Now we could switch all the invasions, get cards from Kaito. Like, our 2 cards make so much more than 2 cards. The biggest fan of being on the draw again, but I guess we have to handle it. So this is his turn. By being on the play, he has this free reign, and he didn't use it, so we got back into the game instantly. So now we can either go into counter spell play or just go Raven Man. What are the colors? Is that Leyline already? It is Leyline. So he can just exile it, so I don't think we play anything right now. Not perfect. Card migration, yep. Because it's 5 card control. However, we should be able to pressure their hand pretty nicely. They get a free pass on one of the turns. We don't have good cards to discard, to be absolutely honest with you. So we can go Raven Man on the next turn. This will be Invasion of Zendikar turn, probably. I think we go like this. They generally don't play counter spells, so I didn't, you know, accommodate for it.
I've come for answers.
Not really sure what I will discard. I will discard something, but not sure what. Moment. Sorry guys, I have this super cough and I still need to record right now. So, I think go for the Throat Man. They cannot cast anything. Or Raven Man. It might be too late for Raven Man. I think Sheoldred is such a big investment that right now we much rather double spell, and with like Raven Man with Liliana can put a lot of pressure on top of Make Disappear. And here it is. Sure, it is what it is. I hoped we can avoid it, but it was a possibility. Oh, no Zendikar, that's pretty huge. This is pretty huge. And now the Raven Man might have a chance to resolve. Let's see. They generally have ley lines as instant removal, so like in 12 cards, 1 is generally what they have. And this, here comes the bigger spell, right? Yeah. Because of ATB effect, we kinda need to counter it, otherwise we lose the Raven Man. Oh! That's definitely something. Let's see if we can hit. Good stuff. We get the Raven, that's already something, and he's down to 2 cards. Atraxa, but here. I mean, I can get Atraxa if you don't mind. Let's see if that's a possibility. Like this is what I love about battles. Right now we are not fighting on life totals, we are fighting for Amon Head. Whoever takes the Amon Head might win the game, and that's so epic, man. This is absolutely epic. And he doesn't have answer. I was thinking whether I should use 4 mana to discard 50% of his value, but risk that he can draw land into Atraxa on the next turn, or just try to flip it. I think he didn't have a remover, so we would flip it, we would get Atraxa, and get all the value we want. Right, opponent goes first, it seems as usual. We don't have cut downs or go for the throat, so I don't feel super confident right now. Like, our opponent doesn't play creatures so far, so it's actually good for us. So, because he has open mana, you don't want to play Raven Man, because this basically negates one of his turns, and this doesn't. Sure. This will be scary. I think this will be a phase out. Let's see. I really hope he taps it, but he has no reason to tap it, so I don't think we'll get it. Yeah, that's rough. That is very rough. So we can go 2 ways. We could go Liliana, try to force it, then he targets with a phase out. And we feel super silly. I kinda need to hope for a mistake because I didn't hit removal. Oh my god, please do it. Please do. Whatever you want to do, just do it. If he taps mana without phasing the Drake, no, he won't go for it. That was our game-winning chance. Alright, so how do we do it? If I played this, then I have no Liliana pressure, so that was the point. Raven Man, not great. Not great. He wants to target it anyway. Let's go for invasion. I don't think he has anything around it. He will draw a lot of cards, man, but at least we can do something, hopefully. Not sure what that is. Fading Hope, sure. I wished he did it main phase, man, that would make our turn so much easier. What did we mirror? A lot of marches. I don't know how many they play. It is possible they play 4, but honestly I think the right number is like 2 or 3 at most. Alright, so he will get those sweet cards, but we do not want to give him. Not looking right. But he used Fading Hope, right? Maybe he has no protection. Oh boy, if he is discarding protection, I think this means all of his hand is protection. I think so. That's not exactly amazing. So I think we go Raven Man. Like, we need to go into some serious emergency mode, man. Because we are not winning otherwise. He knows about the Fairy Mastermind, so he probably won't attack into it unless he has a plan. And he has a lot of plans. I don't think we can win from this position. This is what happens when you don't hit 1 or 2 mana removal against this deck. And they were also on the play, I believe, so that's even worse, because they have this 1 extra mana that won him the game. If we're on the play, we could Liliana against his Drake, and that would be enough to win the game. Let's try. I guess it's unblockable, so no reason to do it, but also not big difference, like he knows about the play. And if he wants to play something, it's even better that we are tapped out. Oh right, I absolutely calculated that I will draw this card. This is why I did it, alright? For all legal purpose, that's what happened. Alright, not looking great. Not really looking great. So we can hit Amon Head for 3. Or we could try to draw some cards and force a reaction. And this is legendary, so it means Takenuma can be played. So you know what? I will take it. I will take it. I can get some damage and draw some cards. Flying, bro! You cannot. Alright, he Fading Hopes. I mean, that's not the worst, but I think this means that we are going for Takenuma. At least we get some value, right? Possibly. Possibly. Go for the throat. I'm not super happy to see it in the bin. That was the card we were literally fishing for. But it is what it is. At least we get some ravens, you know? I'll take it. I will take it. But it will get super scary, man. We are drawing a lot of cards. I mean, we are winning in the card game at least. And we can double Liliana on the next turn. So hopefully he taps because he feels threatened. We use Raven Man to block this guy. We get hit for a little bit, and hopefully we can clear the board. Oh man, this seems scary. Protection, so we cannot block this one. Is it lethal? Yeah, I think it is. Alright, that was a good game. The whole point of this matchup is hitting your 1 or 2 mana removal or being on the play so you can use 3 mana removal. That's it basically. Alright guys, a glorious 1 lander, because nothing can go wrong here. Let's mulligan it and try to play a normal game of Magic. So I think it should be Gig's Command, but it can be such a great card. Maybe we should just go with Ertai Raven Man? No. I think we have to go like this, man. I think we have to go. We have a lot of Lilianas, so you know. It should be fine. I could play Swamp to not show that we are Dimir, but I don't think that's a great idea. Land is a bit unfortunate. I guess we get Liliana. Let's see how Raven Man dies, because he should be dying. Alright, oh boy, you want to discard? Bro?
With the mysteries.
Alright, sacrificing. That's super mean. I was really excited for this one. And he ruined it. Alright, let's go for Invasion of Amonkhet. This will make his discard a bit worse, and I mean, he needs to think about it a bit more on the next turn. But the problem is that he's getting the first ultimate, so even if we get him to 0 cards, he still gets a lot of value. That's a good target for Liliana, so I do not mind. Next turn, yeah, we can go with Swamp, because next turn it will be Liliana. So we might as well just go with this one, right? And first let's get the value. Liliana will be the biggest problem of this whole game. And especially that we didn't have time to make a single Raven, which would make Liliana extremely weak. But he had this instant answer, so he got it 1 for 1 still. Or even 1 for 2. Sure. So we will try to hit his hand. Our hand can suffer a little bit, especially... Oh, my voice. Alright, depends what we draw as well. A bit unfortunate, because I would love to use this. I mean, on the next turn I could. On the next turn I could. But then he just attacks it, so... Let's go for it. I think 4 has to be enough for now. It's not perfect. What are you, Sensor? Sure. If we go... Yeah. We have to go for Liliana directly. Which means Sheoldred will die. But it is what it is. We're both at Liliana stage of the game. And we are both in top deck mode. He has more loyalty, so he will play the card probably. On the bright side, whatever he draws, he has to use it or discard it. Yep. That's some... that's a lot of Lilianas. I mean, we drew 4 of them, right? I think that's the 4th one already. Let's keep the cool one, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, only 3? It feels like way more. Alright, are we winning now? This will be very interesting. Grafted Butter. Alright. Let's see what we draw. Oh man, that's not a good draw. So, because we drew a land and he drew a creature, because we are a bit misplaying our top deck game, we have to lose the ultimate battle. Now every creature he draws can be resurrected into this. Alright, go for the throat.
We all have things
what a game. What an absolute game. Let's go for it. Not perfect, as you can see, we are both discarding whatever we draw, if we cannot play it instantly. But I think with him having first Liliana ult, he will probably win, right? That was a bit rough. So you can generally just get rid of all of the cards, so it's fine. The Graveyard and Planeswalkers are the only problems. We have Edict, but you know, you still need to beat those. He didn't go for the thing. Interesting. So, what we will do is wait until Liliana trigger, then take the mana. I love it. I absolutely love it. Perfect. Now we have attacker. That's something. That is something. So, let's attack. Now Liliana. So he definitely wants to get, you know, the -2, I think. Unless he wants to go for the ultimate fully. And let's give him the card. With the Mastermind, I think we have some shot in this game. Let's see how he reacts. I will draw my card. Or should I say my 2 cards. It gives him play. But this way it's a bit better. For us. And we still have our Liliana. That's the Vortex. This might be the thing. Now we are the Liliana player. Alright, I like it. To be honest, I will go for this, even though we have a lot of cards that can use this mana, but I just don't want to risk it, man. I just don't want to risk it. Let's do it right now. Whatever he does, he will discard first, probably. Yeah, well, not really, he will play the card, but there's not much better targets than Liliana. And apparently we won this. I cannot believe, man. The Mastermind got us out of the game. Not only it got rid of the ultimate, but it gave us card advantage and we went from there. Alright guys, and now we are in the full deck. So the deck is basically like a hybrid of discard and Raven Man, and also drawing cards with Mastermind and Ertai Resurrected. So we actually have a lot of synergies here. On the top end we have the Serpent that basically can discard your opponent's hand. So we are in a huge way a discard deck, and this is extremely good with Ertai and Mastermind, just because you can force your opponent to draw a card. One of the problems with discard cards is that you don't have targets late game, because everyone is top decking. With this deck, you will just force them to not top deck, and you have nice juicy targets for either Liliana or Raven Man, or just going directly into Bladecoil Serpent, so really good stuff. The main idea for the deck was Raven Man indeed, so we really want 4 of them, because this is our perfect 2-drop basically. And on the next turn we try to make absolute sure that we already get the value. So with Liliana of course discards a card, so it's very good synergy. With Kaito you can still do it even if you can draw a card. Sometimes it's better to draw and discard because you basically get extra creature for this. And one of the cool things with Kaito, it not only enables Raven Man with the discard synergy, it's also protected for the next turn, so you are guaranteed to get at least 2 Ravens if you want. It also benefits when the Ravens are already in the battlefield, because we wanted some value. It's just a 1/1 flying creature. One of the good ways to get some value is Yawgmoth Praetor, because you can basically draw a card for each one of those Ravens, and Kaito Shizuki, because you also draw 2 cards a turn then. So those are really good synergies. With Invasion of Amonkhet, it's only 4 defense. It's actually not hard to crack it with the Ravens, especially if you attack first with Raven Man at least once during the game. 2 Ravens can absolutely crack it and swing the game into your favor hugely. You will see it today, or you already have seen it today. So with cards like Ertai Resurrected, you can fully negate the drawback of Ertai, which is pretty huge. Then it becomes literally the perfect card. 4 mana creature that also counters a spell or just destroys anything. Like, man, that's absolutely epic. With cards like Sheoldred, a lot of removal, we are pretty resistant to aggro, and Geek's Command does okay job at sweeping the board, especially that you can basically tailor your opponent's board with cut downs, run a vortex, go for the throats, Liliana. You can shape it in this way that the Geek's Command hits everything, and when this becomes a full sweeper, suddenly Dimir is absolutely epic. With Sheoldred, Mono-Red is not so scary, and Bladecoil Serpent is this top end that you sometimes need to just hit your opponent when it hurts, where it hurts. If you discard 3 cards, he's probably in full top deck mode. And don't forget, Geek's Command is really good also because you play so many different creatures, Masterminds, Raven Man, Ertai, Sheoldred, whatever the situation is, you can get something back with Geek's Command, including Serpent if you really want this heavy value. So the deck is absolutely cool. We didn't play too many games, but they were absolutely crushing it on the ladder. It was pretty epic, and I think it's one of the most enjoyable decks. Raven Man is actually a very fun card. So if you appreciate all the hard work into trying to make Dimir in different versions fresh and fun and pretty competitive, do not forget to subscribe. You help the channel. You are a best bro ever. And I heard you get better top deck, so you can't go wrong with subscribing. And with that great pitch at the end being said, really thank you guys for all the support. It really means a word to me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you tomorrow. With